All right, so we've talked about how it's really important to know the exact values for the cosine, the sine, and the tangent for some key angle measures like 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. And so there's a little trick that you can use that will help you to remember these trig ratios for the special angle measures. And really the only tool that you need to do this is your hand, and specifically your left hand. And here's how it works. So you see your hand here, and notice I've superimposed on the hand a right angle. So basically your whole hand represents 90 degrees. And each of your fingers and your thumb will represent an angle measure that is one of these special angle measures. So your thumb is 0 degrees, your pointer finger is 30 degrees, middle finger 45, ring finger 60 degrees, and your pinky is 90 degrees. Now let's say you wanted to find the trig ratios that were associated with 30 degrees. Say I wanted to find the cosine, sine, and tangent of 30 degrees. Okay, now notice that the pointer finger, this finger right here, is 30 degrees. So if I were to take that finger and fold it down, so say if you can kind of imagine I've scribbled it out and you're folding it down instead of folding it forward. Then the number of fingers that you have on the left of that, or above, there's 3. 1, 2, 3 fingers. And the number of fingers below is 1. Now, you also see that on this hand, I've superimposed this little formula. I have a square root of, and then I have this blank, and then I have over 2. Well, you can calculate all the trig ratios by taking the number of fingers on either side of whatever finger you folded down, and that goes under the radical, and that will give you the cosine and the sine. So it would be the cosine will be the number of fingers above. So like this right here, these 3 fingers represent the number under the radical for the cosine of 30 degrees. So I know that the cosine of 30 degrees is going to be the square root of 3, because there's 3 fingers that are to the left of the finger I folded down, and over 2. Square root of 3 over 2. Now the sine are the numbers to the right of the finger you folded down, and notice there's only 1 of those. So that would actually be the square root of 1 over 2. Well, the square root of 1 is 1, so that's really 1 over 2, or 1/2. And you can even figure out the tangent. Now the tangent can be defined as the sine of the angle divided by the cosine of the angle. So with your fingers, what you can do to find the tangent is you can take the square root of the number of fingers to the right, which is the sine. So I'd have the square root of 1 over the square root of 3. And the square root of 1 is just 1, so that's 1 over the square root of 3. And if we were to just rationalize that by multiplying the top and the bottom by the square root of 3, we'd get square root of 3 over 3. So let's try that for one of the other angles. Okay, so I want to find the cosine, sine, and tangent of 45 degrees. So I go to that finger, the 45 degree finger, and I fold it down. So imagine that finger there that's highlighted in red is folded down. And notice that to the left I have 1, 2 fingers, and to the right I have 1, 2 fingers. Now the fingers to the left, those represent the cosine. And so I have to put 2 under the square root. So that's the square root of 2, and then the denominator is 2. So that's the square root of 2 over 2. And notice there's 2 fingers also on the right hand side, which represents the sine. And so that would also be the square root of 2 over 2. And then since I have for my tangent my sine, which is the square root of 2, and my cosine, which is the square root of 2, and if I divide the square root of 2 by the square root of 2, I get 1. So the tangent of 45 is 1. Okay, and so finally, how about 60 degrees? So that was the third special angle we needed to know by heart. And so if we wanted 60 degrees, okay, we'd fold down the 60-degree finger, which is our ring finger. And to get the cosine, we'd look to the left. And so I have one finger over here, just one. And so I know that the cosine will be the square root of 1 over 2. And the square root of 1 is just 1, so that's 1 over 2, or 1/2. With the sine, I have 1, 2, 3 fingers to the right, and so I know that's going to be the square root of 3 over 2. And then my tangent, I take the square root of the number of fingers that are on the right, which is the sine, so that's the square root of 3, and then the square root of the number of fingers to the left, which is the cosine. And we know that the square root of 1 is just 1, so that denominator really just turns into 1. So that's the square root of 3 over 1, or just the square root of 3. And so the key things to remember about this special finger trick is, first, number 1, this is the formula. It's the square root of the number of fingers to whichever side. If you want cosine, it's to the left of your folded down finger. And then the sine is the right, and then it's over 2, divided by 2 in each case. So it's the square root of the number of fingers to the side that you want, cosine to the left, sine to the right, and then divided by 2. And secondly, we have to remember that the tangent of any angle is always equal to its sine divided by the cosine. And so in this case, it really is just the square root of the number of fingers to the right divided by the square root of the number of fingers to the left. And of course, in every case, you would want to make sure you simplified, and if you have a radical in the denominator, you have to rationalize the denominator. So that's the finger trick.